This is Popular Democracy in Action, a 501c4 social welfare organization. Recently, they released the following public service announcement.
Mom, come, hurry. Ya voy, mija, ya voy. Mom, I got into Harvard.
Oh man, I guess the mother saw the cost of tuition and room and board and immediately sprinted out the back door.
I can't celebrate the best moment of my life because ICE kidnapped my mom.
Kidnapped? She just disappeared. Are you sure she wasn't Thanos?
Happy anniversary, baby.
Why are you so sweet? I love you.
I love you too.
Aw, how sweet. He bought flowers at the gas station.
They took my husband in the middle of the street.
Oh my God. Having a government agency take your husband away just because he forgot to get you a real anniversary gift seems a little extreme.
¿Y qué? ¿Estás nervioso por la boda?
Sí, porque tú vas a estar ahí.
No digas eso.
Solo pórtate bien.
I loved that a progressive social justice nonprofit sat down in a writer's room to fight racial prejudice, and their first creative decision was, let's make the two Hispanic guys landscapers.
Mis mejores amigos no estarán en mi boda porque están detenidos.
To be fair, I'd rather be detained by ICE than having to use one of those worthless 18-volt battery-powered leaf blowers. If you aren't pushing at least 900 CFM with something like a Toro Flex Force, you aren't doing yard work. You're just gently whispering at the grass.
ICE is terrorizing our children.
They're tearing our families apart.
Están arruinando nuestro futuro.
And they're ruining our weddings!
Enough is enough. This is not what America wants.
What America wants is a pretty bold claim to make on behalf of 340 million people, but I appreciate the confidence.
And together we have the power to stop it. So join us.
Join us.
Hold on, isn't that the kidnapped mom, the abducted husband, and the detained best friend? Did these people just survive the shortest kidnappings on record? But more than likely, it was probably some activist judge who forced them to be released. You know, the mother, who's been here for 20 years and doesn't speak English, she didn't have enough due process or something. Regardless, I'd love to know what these illegal immigrants are going to do as a group to stop the kidnappings. But, you know, Avengers Assemble. And somehow, this video is supposed to inspire people to go sign up for endless texts from the Center for Popular Democracy. And while you're there, buy a t-shirt that says, "It's not you, it's capitalism," or "Anti-Billionaire Social Club." You know, because nothing says we are tearing down the establishment quite like operating a direct-to-consumer e-commerce storefront. But if you're not inspired by the world's least convincing landscaping crew, well, this next video by Popular Democracy in Action probably isn't gonna do it for you either.
Pause. Who's American Dream?
So this is Kayla Carter and Kyle Hobson, who both work at Black Male Initiative, a 501c3 that is self-described as dedicated to empowering Black men civically and economically. So naturally, their overarching strategy for civil engagement begins by displaying a profound, exhausting bitterness towards America.
Just write your answer. Just write your answer. You're asking too many questions.
2, 3.
Dude's like, "You're asking too many questions." And then proceeds to answer the question with a question.
Because, like, if we're going to be honest, like, I say the American dream is alive for anybody that was born between 1940 and 1960 that was a white woman, white male, or middle-class Black family that didn't really care about the succession of other Black people.
I'm pretty sure that if you were a middle-class Black family during the 50s and 60s, you deeply cared about the succession of other Black people, considering that the civil rights movement was literally peaking at exactly that moment. But sure, let's rewrite history on a whiteboard.
Yeah, because it's like, who's American Dream? Because at this point, the American Dream is like getting out of America.
So the American dream is leaving America. Got it.
You feel me?
They're trying to tell me that
because my mama not from here.
Ah, the classic paradox. My parents sacrificed everything to immigrate to this country, which is why I'm currently sitting in a chair complaining about how much I want to leave.
You feel me? I didn't even have an American dream.
The American dream is the national belief that anyone, regardless of where or what class they were born into, can achieve success, prosperity, and upward social mobility through hard work, determination, and initiative. And this guy is like, you feel me? I didn't even have an American dream. Bro, you went to college, got your bachelor's degree, and now you have a comfortable white-collar job as a communications lead for a nonprofit. And the reality is, getting paid a salary to sit in a chair and complain on camera about the system that educated you, that's the most incredibly privileged version of the American dream you can possibly imagine.
Baby.
So it's like we could talk about an American dream. There are many dreams that are had in America. Martin had a dream, and so did Napoleon.
What?
Martin had a dream, and so did Napoleon.
So much for that college education, huh? I'm fairly certain that Napoleon Bonaparte, the 18th century French emperor, didn't have an American dream. Unless the Louisiana Purchase was just him liquidating assets so he could buy a condo in Boca.
We might have been the wrong people to ask.
Hey, we was the right ones.
I'm gonna have to side with Kayla on this one. But hey, at least one of them is self-aware.
See, but I love the ghetto. I said facade. I mean,
We'll lead into that.
America is a very good. America is a big space of propaganda.
Yeah.
It's all a facade.
That's not the definition of facade. Although I am impressed that he spelled it correctly. You know, considering how the rest of this interview has gone, we take our wins where we can get them.
I don't know. I think I put ghetto because it's a lot of good and bad. It's a lot of beautiful, but also at the same time. And I think you got too much going on. That's what I think. When I think of the word ghetto, it's like, you got too much going on.
That is not what ghetto means. We are literally watching two college-educated, nonprofit professionals completely rewrite the English language in real time. Somewhere, a Merriam-Webster editor is quietly sobbing at their desk.
I would call America ghetto because they took a lot of whatever was available and threw it into space and said, figure it out.
By that definition, the most ghetto place in America is the junk drawer in my kitchen.
What is the first word that comes to mind when you think about America?
I'm disgusted. The first word is disgust.
I know you're shocked.
Agreed.
Chaos.
Conflicted. Incomplete.
When I think of America, I think of exploitation.
By the way, all of these incredibly uplifting people are attendees at Until Freedom Rings, a people's convention, because nothing says freedom rings quite like locking yourself in a room with a bunch of activists to complain about how much you hate the country you live in.
No, period.
First of all, it should be at present. So much for English grammar, right? Second, she's completely destroying the concept of the American dream, but leaving just a tiny sliver of the door open just in case it decides to make a miraculous comeback after the midterms.
Is the American dream for everybody? I don't think it ever was supposed to be.
Well, that's definitely one way to ensure that you never have to take personal responsibility for your own failures. Just assume that the system was designed to keep you out from day one.
I think the idea of the American dream that was propagated to us is a fundamental lie and foundation that allows capitalism to exist in a society, in a system that's functioning exactly as it's intended to, that's meant to extract the labor and the bodies and the land from the people who are doing the work.
That's like a Kamala Harris level word salad. I think she just set the record for cramming the most first-year sociology buzzwords into a single run-on sentence. But you have to step back and ask yourself, what is the actual point of these videos? They aren't trying to convince anyone in the middle, and they offer zero actual solutions. But that's the secret. They don't want solutions. Because perpetual outrage is the only thing that keeps the lights on at the nonprofit. Anyway, that's it for now. Head on over to my super cool merch store at don'twalkrun.shop. As always, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time, if there is next time.